Welcome back to Healing Within with Maria Laroya, me, LCSW. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and on this show we explore mental health, healing, self-discovery, the messy, the beautiful, and deeply human parts of what we go through and grow through. And so today I'm joined by someone whose story and work really embodies that. My guest is a non-binary who's also a Reiki practitioner, creative producer, and entrepreneur. Their journey weaves together spirituality, identity, and healing in such a powerful way. So we're going to talk about what it means to live within our most authentic selves. And so I know you as V.
Yes.
Okay.
I do go by V.
By V. Now
Yes.
tell us, okay, if you want to share your full name, your government name, what you go by,
You know what?
all the things.
I go by V the Passionate.
Okay, V
I am passionate about people's passions. So
Yes.
V the Passionate has been the name.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Or V Fune. My actual last name is Fune. So
I love that. Fune,
Yeah.
it just kind of rolls off your tongue.
Right?
But V is
Yeah.
V the Passionate.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for being here with me today. So for those that are just meeting you for the first time, can you share a little bit about who you are, what you do, and let's kind of just go from there.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm V the Passionate, known as a host on Tuesday Blend. I also host Bingo Loco. I'm also an event producer. So I'm one of the producers for many huge events, especially in Las Vegas, heck, just all over the world. Without name dropping, I've done like the Mickey Mouse Club reunion. I've done City Gala, which has Matthew McConaughey hosting it. So I've done a lot of celebrity events to like corporate events. I also own a business with my wife called The Spiritual Creatives. We are Reiki practitioners. We are sound healers. We do hape ceremonies. And we also sell and just connect people with their crystals for their life.
Yes. So important to have all the things, all the
Yes.
instruments, all the
Yes.
tools, and all the guidance and support. So you've got this really unique blend of passions, from Reiki practitioner to event producer, entrepreneur. How did all of this come together?
Oh my gosh. Really, I think it started when I was younger. Honestly, just figuring out that I was into girls, right? Because I had to learn that I had to be authentic to myself and learn that whatever I want to do or feel like doing, that no matter what anybody says, that I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So because I came out of the closet, essentially, even with naysayers, I became very strong in my conviction, therefore very creative in my pursuit of happiness. And because my pursuit of happiness was so strong, I decided to just get involved with whatever I was passionate about. So yes, I'm passionate about the entertainment industry and doing events and supporting other people's into getting into the entertainment industry. I've even been a motivational speaker before. Like I've done so many things, and now really diving in and honing in on my spirituality with the new business that I have with my wife. And that's a recent thing, and it's because that's what I've been focusing on. So just kind of putting my passions to that. But yeah, just
So that was the shortcut version of how it all came together. But I imagine that it didn't come easy. It came with its own struggles.
Yes.
And you still trucked on, moved on, you got through it, and here you are, you're still going to go. What would you say helped you get through that time, or what would healing feel or personally mean to you?
So my own form of meditation, and just really being able to journal and talk to myself and ask myself, what do you want? What do you want? Right? Because, you know, I'm about to be 40, so I was around the time when it wasn't cool to be queer yet, right? So when my friends found out, I lost my friends. When my church found out, I got kicked out of church.
Wow.
so there was tears with that,
Yeah.
but having my own relationship with my God, right?
Right.
And being able to talk to them. I mean, there were times where I was like, Jesus, why? Why me? Why can't I just be straight?
Yeah.
You know, and I was
Yeah.
just bawling my eyes out. And then it turned into conversations of like, you know what? This is just who I am. And the love that I feel for whoever I have a crush on
Yes.
is beautiful. And it just is what it is. I can't control it.
Right. What you resist persists.
Right.
That's what I tell everyone.
Yes.
What we resist persists.
Yes.
Right.
For
Wait,
sure.
earlier when you were just sharing, it reminded me of, have you ever read that book, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret?
No, I haven't, but I've heard of the book.
There's the
yeah.
book, and then there's the movie that came out recently, but the book was Judy Blume years ago, many, many years ago. But anyways, it's about a girl coming into puberty, and I won't spoil it for you because you have to
Okay, I gotta watch it.
Yes, yes. But you bring up a really good strategy that I share with my clients in the individual therapeutic room is about connecting with self
Yeah.
through journaling. And a lot of
Yes.
people think, oh, what is that going to do? Right.
Right.
But it makes people look within themselves, because for the majority of our lives, we're looking at ourselves and how we impact the people around us. And as we get older, the world and just the environments that we're in.
Right.
And there's very little emphasis on looking inward.
Right.
And journaling, I think, is a great way.
Yeah.
Now, I don't suggest it to everyone that first comes to therapy. They have to want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be a great tool because, one, writing things down, you're kind of sharing your emotions, your thoughts
Yeah.
with something else.
Yeah. It's validating my feelings.
Yes.
Like it's saying it's real because it's in front of me. It's on a piece
Did
of
it
paper.
ever feel like a release?
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, there was sometimes it wouldn't even be words. It would be doodles, right? I
Yeah.
just had to write something down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. And it's a form of grounding too, right?
Yeah.
Because when we talk about mindfulness, mindfulness is about being present in the here and now.
Yeah.
And in today's world, we have many window tabs open, all the things to do,
Right.
all the phone calls, all the text messages.
Yes.
And then ourselves are the last. We're too busy opening window tabs for everyone else and everything else. And allowing ourselves to get present in the here and now is important and necessary. It's a
Yes.
necessary skill
Yes.
to be able to do that, because if we don't give ourselves permission to check in with ourselves, we're not giving ourselves permission to exist authentically.
Yeah.
You know?
I just learned that concept maybe the past 8 years. And it was when I moved to Hawaii for my business, Tribunity, which was the business of supporting people and living their passions within
Right.
the entertainment industry. And it wasn't until I was in Hawaii where it's like it forces you to slow down, right? You're on an island. There's only so much that you can do
Yeah.
there. But I noticed that once I had the balance of, hey, let's check in with self, let's go hiking, instead of always the go, go, go that I experienced out in
Yeah.
LA, right?
Yeah.
There was like
Oh, yeah.
1,000 projects that I was working
Right.
on. And it was great. You know, I was getting these awards, I had the company moving. But then we wanted to expand to Hawaii, and Hawaii taught me to like slow down. And then it was crazy because I thought that my business would completely slow down once I slow down. But it turns out that the more you fill up your own cup, the more
Yeah.
the universe is just like, no, here's more opportunities and people to support you with these opportunities.
Right.
Like,
well,
it
as
grows.
you're feeling like you have to do the cup filling,
Yeah.
you're not allowing opportunity to come in to support
Exactly.
you.
For
right.
sure. Yes.
Another cup analogy, since we're talking about cups. Can I go there? I'm going to go there. So one thing that I talk about, we always talk about filling our cup, right?
Yes.
And I didn't make this up, so I'm not taking credit for it, but it's called the tolerance cup.
Okay.
And this kind of incorporates mindfulness, grounding, and think about every day you start your tolerance cup empty. And this cup is going to get full throughout the day based on the things you experience, good, bad, unplanned, and then the bad stuff, right? Flat tire, late
Right.
for a meeting, coffee spilled all over you.
Right.
And so you start the day with an empty tolerance cup. And, let's say you're brushing your teeth or you want to brush your teeth, you realize that you're out of toothpaste. Oh, great. Here, we're going to grow. Right now, like coffee spilled, traffic. Ooh, it's getting full. If we don't stop at some point or points throughout the day to check in with ourselves, to empty this through grounding in any form, whether it be going for a walk, taking a few deep breaths, the cup will get fuller and fuller. And as the tolerance cup grows fuller, our emotions get bigger. Our ability to respond appropriately or just interactions with others. We're a lot shorter. We're a lot snarkier. And think about the mom, the dad who comes home after a long day and didn't check in with themselves. By the time their cup is full, Mom, Dad, can I show you something? And they snap.
Yeah.
They're irritated.
Yeah.
But even if you don't have kids, think about all the ways that a full tolerance cup impacts you. So for someone like you who has many different hats to wear, right?
Yes.
It's about checking in with yourself.
Yes.
And so on that note, checking in with ourselves, energy, healing, Reiki, tell me about how you got into that.
Yeah.
And kind of like give us a little journey of your business venture.
Sure. Actually, ever since I was young, so middle school, I've always collected crystals.
No way.
Yes.
Before it became popular.
Yes. And I never understood it, but it just always called out to me. So I've always had a collection. And then I started taking some classes and going to different people, like my friends, that would have all these ceremonies. And I started to love the way I felt, right? Doing breath work. Like you're literally not on any type of drug or anything. And you're like, you just get shot out into like the abyss of another galaxy through breath work.
Yeah.
Really crazy. But yeah, so just learning about different things, I started really diving into it. And when my wife started to tell me that she wanted to become a Reiki practitioner, she was like, I want to go to El Salvador. And I said, okay, well, I don't want you to go to El Salvador without me. I like to travel. So I went with her.
If you're going to do it, so am I. Why
so
not?
I went with her. And now we're both, Reiki practitioners.
So you went to, okay, what was it about El Salvador?
So actually, my friend Janet Love and Gina, who are phenomenal practitioners, they're just goddesses in their own right. They actually put the retreat together.
No way.
Yeah. So and then they, invited 14 women, and we were like, yeah, sure, we're down.
Yeah.
And we got Reiki attuned 1 and 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you protect your energy as you're taking in energy?
Yeah, so especially as hosting, like there's so much energy. So I used to get to a point where it's like every time I would hit a stage or heck do an event, like producing an event, afterwards I was just drained.
Yeah.
Right? So now I turned it around, and what I do is before walking in, I call in whatever you believe in. So for me, I just say, Reiki, please come in powerfully, right? And then I just imagine a white bubble around me.
Okay.
Right? And just imagining that, because it's already happening. You have your white bubble around you. Your angels are always surrounding us, right? They always protect us. But really imagining it allows you to know, like, all right, you're protected, right? So, and it allows me to walk into any room or onto any stage and know that I am exuding light rather than receiving negative energy.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, in my field, I'm taking in a lot of individual energy, and I'm aware of that, right? And that's my belief system, right? Everybody has their own belief system. But because of that, I do grounding daily, sometimes after each or between sessions to make sure I give the best version of myself to the next person. And so even when you're walking out in public, do you sense other energies? Do you protect yourself? Do you create a...
My wife is so good at sensing energies. I think I'm the complete opposite. So I'm a Pisces. Pisces are very like much in the clouds, right? Also, I see the best in everybody. So like, and I want to see the best in everybody because I want to bring that out in people, right? So, but no, I wear crystals. I, have Palo Santo in my car. So anytime I feel like, all right, my energy's getting kind of weird, I will brush off other people's energy. I even have a selenite wand, if you will, that supports that. So there's these little magic tricks.
You have your little magic tricks. Now, true Filipino style, do you have your little Vicks with you?
Oh my gosh.
Part of your...
Katinko, okay?
Your little magic, your wellness.
Yes.
Your little protection. Yeah, no.
Yes. No, for sure. And you have to have, and I'm not saying that everybody needs to believe in what I believe in, but like, that's what works for me and has always worked for me. Even before I knew what crystals were, right? Yeah. I've always just had it in my backpack. So.
Nice. So how and this turned into a business. So you got Reiki certified 1 and 2.
Yes.
And then what was the next step for you?
The next step was buying crystals. The fun part. I got obsessed. Spent about $20,000 on crystals.
Wow.
Yes. My house, we have a huge garage that's like set up as a studio. And it is just shelves and shelves of different crystals. But what I'm excited about that aspect is before getting into the crystal business, I had a 7-week course to support people in living their passions.
Okay.
So I've had experience in like really supporting people and tapping into like who they are authentically and how they can figure out what their passion is and how they can get into it. Right. So now utilizing the things that I know within spirituality, I want to mix the two, right? And now give them something tangible, something to put in their hands to create and co-create with living their passions, whether it's also finding the love of their life or, learning how to become more abundant with money. So we're definitely taking the coaching plus our little crystal boxes, doing Reiki, sound healing, retreats, because it all works hand in hand.
Yes, absolutely. And what is the name of the business?
The Spiritual Creatives.
The Spiritual Creatives.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned when I had spoken with you that you have a new, or you're bringing up a product for the holidays.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So we're actually going to be selling these kits. So there's 7 different kits. So for instance, there's a financial kit. Within the financial kit, we'll actually teach you how to build a financial bowl, which is phenomenal for the new moon or the full moon.
Yeah.
It's a little selenite bowl. We'll give you the rice and the cinnamon for it. We'll teach you exactly how to go about it. Works every time, I'm telling you guys that. There's also a self-love kit.
Okay.
There's also a health kit. So within it, it's going to have crystals, some jewelry for you to wear, something to put in your car, something to put in your office, and something to have at your home. And then we'll give you guys some tips and tricks. Also, there's going to be audio that you can actually go to YouTube for, that you can listen to on a daily to support you and just working that out. So that way, every month that you choose a kit, you can choose a different part of your life that you're actually working on. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, well, I was going to ask at the end, but since we're on the subject, is there a website, Instagram, like what for specifically for that business?
It's just thespiritualcreatives.com. Remember, it's an S at the end, so just thespiritualcreatives.com.
Okay. And then this is yours and you and your wife's business. Okay, awesome.
It's our baby.
And do you host workshops specifically for this? Okay.
We do a monthly out in Los Angeles. We're going to start doing it monthly out here in Las Vegas. That's it for now. We're also starting to do online ones too for those of you that can't make it to LA and Vegas.
Okay. Yeah, because I know you're everywhere.
Yeah.
Where do you consider home?
Ooh, the world is my home.
Okay. Okay. You're like, why pick a place?
I mean, okay, put it this way, guys. I pay for rent for my cats and my bunny to live in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Seriously.
Right.
We're barely home.
They live here. Okay.
We're barely home. Yeah.
Oh, but I'm assuming they have caretakers.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We have great next door neighbors. Thank
Okay,
God.
love that.
Yeah. They're like, we'll watch the cats because we have a pool. So they're like, we'll watch the cats.
Oh, nice. They're like, yeah, just, can we turn on the heater during the winter time? So I'm curious, in your experience, how do spirituality, mental health, and being part of the queer community all intersect?
Oh my gosh, I think that's what the queer community actually is. So in United States, the Native Americans call it two-spirited, right? In the Filipino culture, it's called babaylan, and that just means that you are a spiritual person that embodies both the feminine and the masculine energy. So I believe the people that are actually born into being gay, or finding out even later that they are queer in some way, shape, or form, it's because they actually are remembering their past lives or their soul and realizing that we are both genders, we are both sexes, and we came to this reality today to just embody both, and it's okay to embody both. And yeah, so like for me as a non-binary, I really feel like I am both sexes, which is probably why I have one shaved side head and one long side, yeah, so I think it just works completely hand in hand. We just forgot, I guess, as a culture.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Can you say that again? The Filipino...
Babaylan.
Babaylan.
Uh-huh.
And it means what again?
Two-spirited.
Two-spirited.
Yeah.
Similar to Native Americans.
Yes.
Wow.
But in the Filipino culture. So yeah, so babaylans were actually known as the chiefs or the medicine people. They were the people that everyone went to for advice because they understood both sides.
Right.
Because as a woman, to me, woman energy is that grace. It's like a tree. They just are, and then they grow fruit and they provide, right? Whereas the masculine energy is very like go 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 go. Right. This is what we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna conquer this.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it's like having a mix of both. I think is so important, especially for nowadays.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And people are so inclined to say, I'm this way because of this or that only, but it's like, what about all parts of your being? You don't have to say, as a female, who I'm a hard worker, I go for it all the things that I choose to go for, and I don't rely on anybody, emotionally, financially, all the things. And a lot of people are like, girl, no, I'm for real. Like, I am for real.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not going to sit here and try to explain that to you.
Yeah.
And so tying that back to babaylan,
yeah,
it sounds like once upon a time people really went to that person as a guide.
And they still do
and
in certain tribes.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, I'm like, where does this exist?
Yeah,
I need to go seek my babaylan when I
in
go
the boondocks in the Philippines.
Right.
They're the jungle people.
Oh.
But as you know, the Philippines have been taken over by Spaniards and the French and so many different cultures. Right. Same thing that happened to the Native Americans here in America.
Yeah.
And then they just push upon what they believe is whatever they believe.
Right.
But us brown people, we have specific teachings here, guys, that they're forcing us to forget.
Yeah.
Because really, so another thing I was mentioning to you earlier, in the Filipino language, we say siya when we say, them or they, or instead of he or she, we don't have a he or she, it's siya. That's them, right? Because we just don't do labels like that. And in a perfect world, I would love it if we just didn't have labels in general.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's the color of your skin, your race, or like we're all just human beings and energetic beings. Like, who cares who you sleep with? Who cares? There is no man or woman. It's just us.
Right.
Period.
It should be, are you a good person?
Yes.
That's the main question. That's what I care about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, words carry a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Right. And people the words, the narratives behind that word carries a lot of weight, and that's why, like, I see in therapy fractured relationships because this person doesn't have a great relationship with mom or dad or sister or brother, but they think in the natural scheme of things we should be loved, we should be loving, we should have a great relationship, and then I'll explore those narratives. What narratives, personal narratives, do you have behind that word mom? And are they true? Are they false? Or are they made up because you think that that's the way it's supposed to be? Similar to, like what you were just saying, all these different labels.
Yeah.
They can be helpful, but they can also be destructive.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm just saying and seeing, especially in just the state of affairs of the world and
Yeah.
the U.S. and everywhere,
Yeah.
labels mean everything, and you have to it feels like you have to pick a side
Yeah.
for whatever cause.
Yeah, which is so sad. It's so sad. Currently right now, and I, kind of talked to you about it before the show, I have some friends that are queer that are, saying that trans people are crazy, right? And then I have trans friends because I'm also transitioning, so I have trans friends in that community, and I know what it's like to be on, I guess, the trans side and to just want to be human. Like we're just peeling and wanting to peel the onion so we can show our authentic self.
Yeah.
And to have some of my friends who probably don't even realize that I'm also trans say like, oh, they're crazy. It's like, what do you mean? I've supported you in your career for so long
Right.
and I've done some really smart stuff for you.
Right.
So now you're saying I'm crazy?
Right, yeah.
But like at the same time, I get it. Everybody has their own opinion. It just sucks when other people have opinions on things that they just don't understand completely.
Right. And that's ignorance, right?
Yeah.
That's ignorance. And, when you talk about being and feeling like you're crazy or being told that you're crazy, to work toward your most authentic self, to work toward your happiness and all of that, whatever that means, it's easy to put that label. Are you saying I'm crazy because you truly think I'm crazy, or do you think that's crazy because you would never do that? Two different things.
Right.
And then the reality is for a person who chooses to transition and go through that process because that's who they are, it's not a clinical mental health diagnosis.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so again, it comes down to understanding and openness. And I think for you, if I were to give, not that you asked for my advice, but I'm going to just say it anyway, it's about being able to choose who am I going to engage in a discussion with.
Yeah.
If they're open and willing to hear my personal journey, I'll share.
Right.
But other than that, for anyone else who's just going to comment, you could keep that with you.
Right. Right.
Almost yeah.
But now as an influencer, right? And I hit the stage and I've worked with all these people. I have like this feeling of wanting to say, wait a second, guys, you guys I understand. And, maybe you guys should look into this. It's a huge viral thing right now. Tish Hyman, a trans woman, walked into a gym and essentially turns out they had their thing out, and it obviously really upset Tish Hyman. And I completely understand. What Tish is trying to do is protect women's right. Obviously, I'm completely about that. What I am not liking right now is now she's boxing all of the trans people into one box and now saying, that they're not clinically well. So I understand where she's coming from, but I don't think all trans are the same. Just like not all human beings are the same.
Not like all Asians are the same.
Exactly.
All right.
But I get it. There are, unfortunately, some sick people out there that are taking advantage of the trans community and that label to be able to walk into women's restrooms and just be nasty.
Right. Who have ill intention.
Yeah.
Who have malice in their heart.
Yeah.
And they do that and they don't realize, nor do they care, that they're impacting those individuals who truly are trying to find their place in this world
Yeah.
and access services and access things.
Yeah.
And so it's so hard because there are so many sides. It's not black or white
Yeah.
in that specific situation,
Yeah.
right? Where as a mom, I would understand. As a woman, I would understand. As a human who loves and cares about others, I also understand what
Yeah.
it means, right? And so I think the discussion needs to continue
Yes.
from not just a micro level, but from a macro level,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How do we help people feel like they can navigate this world and their day-to-day, all people,
Yeah. Yeah.
without feeling like anything I do will turn into an attack?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it's such a tough conversation, and like I said, I'm a Pisces, so I see all sides, right? And I just want to give love in general. So I don't know what the solution is. All I know is this is who I am, and I'm not going to change because it's who I've always been, and I will always support all people that want to do that, as long as they have goodwill and intent
Right.
while doing it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but it's a touchy subject right now, and who knows, maybe it'll get solved soon, hopefully.
Right. Or
Yeah.
maybe, this will just bring more awareness to the needs of everyone.
Yeah.
It sounds like, and I'm not familiar with the story or have
Yeah.
seen too much of it,
Yeah.
other than what you've told me, but it seems like it feels all one-sided, or two different sides competing against each other for understanding, but
Yeah.
hopefully that will lead to a bigger conversation of how do we move forward.
Well, the thing is, and since we're both women here, okay, I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
this. There are, and I noticed this even, in this, I noticed that men particularly have weird fetishes. And sorry, maybe I shouldn't say weird fetishes, but men have specific fetishes, right?
Okay.
And I get it, it's because they have an antenna, right? So like sometimes it only beeps for specific things. So it's interesting because I feel like when they talk about the trans community, being ill or whatever, I feel like it's mostly the men that are claiming to be trans because they want to be around women, and it's become a fetish for them, if that makes sense. Like there's actual men that are like, oh, I'm trans woman and I'm a lesbian,
Okay.
So, and then they walk into these
The
gym
spaces,
lockers and
for the sole purpose of
seeing women. And it's just confusing. You know what I mean? Where it's like, for instance, for me as a, trans who is wanting to show up more in my masculine self, I'm not wanting to go into the men's restroom to be with men.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just gets confusing. So
Well, and so what about when, all is said and done and you're working towards completion of all the phases of transitioning.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself accessing which door?
The middle door.
The middle door, okay.
Which is, and this is what I do in airports, I always go to the family restroom. I like to be on my own anyways.
Right. Yeah.
I do. And Tish Hyman actually says this. She's all for a third bathroom for all the trans.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Even if it's, woman to man, man to woman. Like, I feel like us trans people, if we went through all the surgeries and whatever we had to do to do our thing, like, we have an understanding of each other.
Yeah.
But we should have stalls anyways. Like, you're not supposed to see things anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'd be curious to know in what other countries where they've already made those accommodations.
I have no
Something,
idea.
I mean, just out of curiosity that came to mind. What also came to mind is, I think I had shared with you, I was 19, 18, so a long time ago. I went to New York City. My girlfriend and I went to a rave and snuck in. And
we all did at one point.
right. Snuck in. And I was so surprised. It was my first experience with a all gender bathroom. Right. And I didn't know if that was just like a New York thing or but we were just so, I don't know, maybe behind here on the West Coast. But I was like, you know, like I have to share with boys, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just again,
That's tough
we weren't
too,
exposed
though.
to it. We weren't exposed to it out
Yeah.
here.
I guess so.
But
And-
I wasn't like scared. It was just like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
But I went anyway. I mean, I had to go pee, whatever.
Right. Which, okay, so that's interesting. So, like, as a woman, I don't want to go to the men's restroom, first of all. It's disgusting.
Probably nasty. Yeah.
right?
Right.
So, I don't want to do that. But, yeah, so, like, the whole, you know, whatever, mixed gender restrooms, I don't know if that would specifically work because, you know, unfortunately, there's been cases where there's been, like,
Yeah.
younger women.
Yeah,
and
that's
then there's,
true.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it just.
Safety issues.
I think we
Right.
just need more, honestly, mental health, like, out there, like, to
Yeah.
just support people in whatever their fetishes is, whatever's going
Yeah.
through their mind, so that way they don't go out and act upon it.
Right. Yeah. No. What I love about now being in this clinical community and growing a support system and growing a referral list of different clinicians is finding that there are so many clinicians out there that have specialties in certain things
Yeah.
that I'm not,
Right.
that I don't specialize in, and not that I don't want to. You know, when I choose a specialty, I want to get into it, get
Yeah.
in the trenches, learn, grow before I move on to the next. But you bring up a good point where a lot of women, there's this idea that more women access mental health services than men.
Yeah.
And hopefully, as we bring more awareness to the mental health space, that it has no target audience.
Yeah.
Mental health issues is for all of us.
Yes.
Mental health wellness is for
Yes.
all of us,
Yes.
rather, right? So much more to come. And
Yeah.
we are in a good space in our lives.
Yes.
You,
Yes.
where you are promoting it. You are promoting it through all the different work that you
Yes.
types of work that you're
Yes.
doing. And so when you at this point in your life, when you look back on your journey, what are you most proud of?
Just the communities that I've been able to build around me. I am surrounded by all kinds of different genders, sexes,
Yeah.
races, and we all come together and really we're tapped into our awesome creativeness, right? And when it comes to the spiritual community, like, it's amazing because I have these men in our retreats and our women in our retreats, and everyone's just being their divine, beautiful self, their energy.
Yeah.
And I love to see men, like, tap into their divine masculine,
Yeah.
you know, and their divine femininity,
Right.
you know, because that right there is powerful. Like, I mean, you talk about mental health. A lot of men, they don't believe in crying or
Yeah.
that vulnerability.
Right.
But I think it's so important. So, yeah, I think that is what I'm proud of the most, is just really all the communities that we've been able to build together and
Yeah.
co-create with.
I'm so excited to hear about all your ventures, especially that venture with the healing, the
Yes.
spirituality, the sound baths. Because one thing that I do in my practice is when I'm working with someone who shares with me that they have an interest or that they are into Reiki, spirituality, crystals, healing, all those types of arts.
Yes.
Right? I will tell them, to go to sound baths.
Yes.
As a way to work on their mindfulness, on their
Yes.
meditation.
Yes.
Even if you go there with the intent of only working on mindfulness, you'll be surprised. You might get more out of it, right?
Yes.
So,
For sure.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah, well, the thing is about our different energies, right? Like, traumas happen, and yes, you can talk about it, and you can definitely work through things, and you can even shift your mind about the traumas. However, a lot of the times those traumas get stored in our chakras or in our parts of our body.
Yeah.
So doing body work with practitioners or getting your chakras realigned, doing sound healing will allow those traumas to fully get released.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that way you can invite the energy you actually want.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important to create a space where you don't have, like, where your clients, your customers, your students, whatever you call them, know that this is a place where you can release. The person that I worked with today, The Art of Healing, April Rondon, she shared with me that she will allow, if a person feels compelled to just scream and cry out loud,
Yes.
she doesn't hold them back.
Yeah.
Like they need to do that.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Like I love that. But not only do I love that, I think people need to be reminded. Take up space.
Yes.
Take up space.
Yes.
There's plenty.
Yes. There really is.
There really is.
Yes. And we're all waiting for you
Right.
to.
Like take up space,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
So as we move towards the close of today's show, this podcast is called Healing Within. This show is called Healing Within. What does healing within mean to you?
Ooh, checking in with self,
Yeah.
right? Being able to fill your cup, check on your cup, like Maria was saying. And just always asking yourself, what do you want, right? Like, I talk to the mirror all the time and I say, what do you want today? What would you like to create today, right? And those questions for me has allowed me to live multiple passions, live a life full of bliss, abundance, and love.
I think you answered my next question. You know, I was going to ask you, you know, what advice would you give to others who are
Yeah.
struggling with self-identity, belonging, acceptance? And I think your
Yeah.
example is, your personal example is what you would give to others.
Yeah, hone in on yourself. It doesn't matter the outside noise, because at the end of the day, you are the one that has to deal with yourself. When the lights are off, even if
So
you have
true.
a partner,
Yeah.
the lights are off
Yeah.
and you are just in your head, it's only you. So just hone in on yourself and don't care about anything else.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
And it takes practice.
It
That
does.
thought
For
in
sure.
itself of honing in on self, looking
Yeah.
inward, that in itself takes practice.
Yeah.
Because people think like, okay, I did that, didn't work.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Yes.
Do not give up.
For sure. Well, I do want to give you guys an exercise, if you don't mind,
Yes.
really quick. And I did this innately, right? But this is the exercise that I give to a lot of the people that are around us. If you find yourself having negative thoughts, and these are constant negative thoughts of like regrets or the I'm not good enough or whatever, when you take a shower, water is such a powerful healing just thing to have. When you take a shower, imagine yourself just being showered by the light of your angels, your guardian angels, your God, whatever you believe in. Just imagine a white light. And then I want you to literally go like this and imagine these negative thoughts, right? The I'm not good enough. Just remove it. If you physically do it, it works. I know it's crazy or it looks kind of nuts, but it literally works, because it's like you can imagine yourself like taking out little pieces of paper.
Behavior activation.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know that's what it was.
Yes.
But it's always worked for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Try
Water
it.
and behavioral activation.
Right.
I love that.
And when you connect that, because people feel like their thoughts or their brain is something that they don't have control over.
Yes.
That's a totally different podcast. The way, or the show, is the way our brain works as it holds different thoughts and processes. But to be able to physically, I like that.
Yeah.
You're gone. The more you do it.
Yeah.
And the more you practice things like this, in the beginning, it may not feel like it's working right away. And change doesn't happen overnight.
For sure.
But habits, consistency of
Yeah.
doing things that are helpful and meaningful
Yeah.
will create new habits, new ways of thinking.
Yeah.
So all of this, no matter what arts, profession, we are all talking about the same thing, right? Creating a life that's meaningful
Yes.
and accepting the vulnerabilities within ourselves.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Before I wrap up, can you tell people how they can connect with you, follow your work, all the things?
Yeah, sure. I would love to connect with everybody in any way, shape, or form. But you can find me on Instagram and on TikTok at the Passionate. So that's just VTHEPASSIONATE, V the Passionate. And yeah, just DM me. Let me know that you saw the show. I would love to continue the conversation with you or whatever.
Yes, thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Be
you.
the passionate. You have all the info. Thank you for being so open, so honest,
Yes.
so vulnerable, and for sharing your journey. I'm so thankful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love how we got to explore the idea of not just healing, but being able to understand V's journey through a very just open and honest discussion. And that's what this show is for, is to be able to connect with not just the person that's here, but to be able to connect with all of you. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your space. Share it with everyone, and I will see you next time. Thank you.